Anyway, for today's class, I recommend you have a belt nearby. It could be a proper yoga belt or a bathrobe tie. Any sort of scarf will do as well. A pair of matching yoga blocks. And a pillow or couch cushion of some sort to give yourself some padding. And we're going to begin lying down. We're going to do some yoga for abs today. So please join me. Lying down, pillow underneath your head, if you're into that kind of thing, and a block between your thighs. So a nice foamy block will do. If you don't have a yoga block, a couch cushion, a stuffed animal, anything you could put between your knees and give a good hug. So it's between the thighs, between the knees. Your feet are flat down on the ground, and your heels are wider than your toes. So toes are turned in, heels are kicked out. This helps to rotate your thighs in such a way that your inner thighs fall in down towards the ground. So if you had stripes on the outside of your pants, you can think of the stripes on the outside of your pants rolling up towards the ceiling and the inseams falling down towards the floor. So there's a rotation of the meat around the thigh bones. So inner thighs descending, outer thighs rolling up. Speaking of moving your meat around, reach down with your hands and spread the wealth. You might even rock a little bit from side to side to spread your backside out on the floor. You want to feel that lower back approaching the floor. And then you can take one arm across, widen your shoulders, and feel those back ribs coming into contact with the ground. So widen your back. Bring one arm across, then the other. And then take your hands, your fingertips are running up through your hair to lengthen the back of your neck. Chin is slightly tucked. Do put enough pillow underneath your head so that your chin is lower than your nose. Chin is lower than your nose. The front of your throat can settle down into the back of your throat. The back of your neck is nice and long. And this is where we will begin. Take your fingertips, your hands down low on your belly, and close your eyes. Find your breath. Let it come in and out through your nose. Breathing in and out through your nose slows down your breath. We're going to further slow down the breath, constrict your breathing by clearing your throat. So you can work up some spit and swallow, and then clear your throat to find the back or base of your throat. And as you breathe in and out through your nose, let your breath scrape your throat to create a whispering, ocean-like sound. There is sound on the inhale and sound on the exhale. It sounds like the ocean. And like ocean sounds, it never stops. Continuous breathing, inhaling and exhaling with sound. So this constriction in the throat, this breath with sound, is known as Ujjayi Pranayama, the victorious yoga breath. By concentrating on your breath, slowing down your breath, you become victorious over your fidgety body and victorious over your scattered thoughts. In yoga, we use various breathing techniques to unite mind and body together via the breath. So paying attention to your breath and directing your breath into your body, mind and body are united. So observing your breath, letting it come in and out through your nose, past that heaviness in your throat, creating that whispering Darth Vader sound on the inhale and the exhale. Let that breath go deep into your body, down into your belly, and feel your belly rise and fall with each breath. So with your hands on your tummy, feel your belly rising and falling with each breath. And spread your hands out, spread your fingers so that your pinky fingers are touching your front hip bones and your thumbs are touching your front ribs. Continue to take those big belly breaths. Feel your belly balloon outward as you inhale. And feel your belly sink inward as you exhale. Continuous, slow, smooth, even breathing. We'll get even more sophisticated with this. So remember, you've got that block between your thighs. Prepare with your next inhale, big inhale. And as you exhale, squeeze the block as you press your breath out. And then as you inhale, relax. Again, as you exhale, squeeze the brick, press your breath out. And inhale, relax. Continue doing this. Each and every exhale, you're squeezing the brick. And each and every inhale, you're relaxing, filling up with breath. So squeezing that brick between your thighs helps to engage your inner thigh muscles. Your inner thigh muscles connect up into your pelvis, pelvic floor area. So squeezing the block helps you identify some of those pelvic floor muscles. In yoga, we have bandhas or energetic locks, ways of encouraging you to stimulate or use your abs. And abdominal locks, pelvic floor locks, and throat locks, there's 3 of them. These 3 bandhas used together give you power. So prepare once again with an inhale. And as you exhale, squeeze the block, but think about pulling in on that pelvic floor to help press your breath out, like you gotta pee. And inhale, relax. Try to be discriminating. Know the difference between inner thighs and butt cheek. You want to engage the pelvic floor, your inner thighs, not so much your butt cheeks. And inhaling to relax. And now we'll continue adding on. So that pelvic floor is, again, part of that pelvic floor is part of your core musculature. We're going to add in another layer here, the abdominals. So fingertips touching those hip bones, thumbs touching your front ribs. With your next exhalation, not only are you going to squeeze the block, but you're also going to draw your belly button to your spine, contracting the distance between hip bones and rib cage, tucking in those ribs. And then inhale, relax. Exhale, squeeze the block, tuck in your front ribs. Feel the distance between fingertips and thumbs shorten. And inhale, relax. Let's continue doing this. Each and every exhale, you're squeezing the block and you are tucking in your front ribs. Again, exhaling, squeezing the block, tucking in your front ribs. And all the while you're doing this, you're still breathing through your nose, feeling that breath scraping your throat. That throat scrape is the 3rd bandha. So again, inhale, prepare. And as you exhale, squeeze the block, tuck in your front ribs, and clear your throat, pressing out all the breath. And inhale, relax. How about 2 more just like that? So with each and every exhale, you're squeezing the block, tucking in those front ribs, and clearing your throat to help push your breath out. Perhaps you're starting to feel your abs engage. You're starting to feel more powerful. And inhaling, relax. And to put yoga terms to all of this, with the exhalation, you are engaging Mula Bandha, that's the pelvic floor, Uddiyana Bandha, the front rib area, and Jandalahara Bandha, the throat lock. And inhale, relax. All right, reach down, remove that block. You're going to bring one knee at a time, both knees into your chest, one hand on each knee, and rock your hips from side to side. Feel that lower back spread out even wider, flatter down on the ground. And come to neutral. With one hand on each knee, take your knees apart and rock a little wider side to side. And then work your hands up through the insides of your legs, maybe holding onto your calves or the arches of your feet, or taking your peace fingers around your big toes. The legs are wide. Your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to continue to take those big, deep belly breaths. And with each and every exhale, can you pull in that pelvic floor? I know it's a little tricky with your legs wide apart, a little bit more challenging. Inhale, belly balloons out. That's easy. And exhale, pull in that pelvic floor, tuck in your front ribs, clear your throat. A little bit harder to engage that pelvic floor with your legs wide apart, isn't it? So I'm going to encourage you to close your legs once again, put that block into place. So engaging your core musculature involves that pelvic floor. So we're going to continue to use that block. Block goes between your thighs. And with hands on your knees, inhale, prepare. And as you exhale, squeeze the block, tuck in your front ribs, hug those knees in tight, close to your chest. Open your arms out to the sides. Inhale, prepare. And as you exhale, squeeze the block, tuck in your front ribs, clear your throat. Can you bring your knees tight, close to your chest without using your hands? Again, inhale. And one more time. Exhale, squeeze the block, tuck in your front ribs, clear your throat. Feel your abs engage and maintain that ab engagement. Take both knees all the way over to the right, all the way down to the ground. And you get to relax. And with your next exhalation, again, squeeze the block, pulling your front ribs, clear your throat, engage your abs. And inhale, relax. Again, exhale, squeeze the block, tuck in your front ribs, clear your throat, feel those abs engage. And here's your challenge. Can you lift your legs back to start, back to center? And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Inhale, prepare. And exhale, squeeze the block, clear your throat, tuck in those front ribs, and bring both knees all the way over to the left, down to the ground. And then relax. We're here for 2 breaths. With the exhalation, you're engaging those abs, squeezing the block, tucking in those front ribs, clearing your throat, feeling that power. And then you inhale, relax. And again, squeeze the block, tuck in your front ribs, clear your throat, find that power. And relax. And this third time, you're going to actually bring those legs back to start. So with an exhalation, engage those abs, pelvic floor, front ribs, clear your throat, and bring those legs back to center. All right. Make it a little bit more challenging. You're going to move that block up between your ankles and take your legs high into the sky. That's why you want foamy blocks, not hard ones. So do make sure you're using something appropriate, just in case you drop it on your face, you don't hurt yourself. So a couch cushion, stuffed animal, or a cheap low density brick, something between your ankles. Inhale, prepare. And as you exhale, squeeze the brick, tuck in your front ribs, clear your throat. And inhale, relax. Let's do that again. Inhale, prepare. And as you exhale, squeeze the brick, tuck in your front ribs, clear your throat. Can you feel the shape of your lower back change? Perhaps it feels like you want to lift your hips away from the floor a little bit and relax. Let's do that again. Let's see if you can lift your hips away from the ground any amount at all. Exhale, squeeze the brick, tuck in your front ribs. Can you peel your hips away from the ground any amount at all? And relax. Maybe you're just spiritually lifting your butt up. One more time. Exhale, squeeze the block, tuck in your front ribs, peel your hips up any amount at all, and relax. Shoo your animals out of the way and set the block off to the side. Actually, sorry, we're going to continue using those blocks. You're going to find both blocks now. Set one foot down, set both feet down. You're going to lift your hips up. Block goes between the thighs for just a split second. Feet go flat to the ground. Inhale. And as you exhale, squeeze the block, tuck in your front ribs, peel your hips away from the ground any amount at all, and tuck one of those blocks underneath your booty. So I've got this on the low level, wide width, across the butt. At this point now, I'm elevating the hips. I want to make sure I remove that pillow from underneath my head. Nothing underneath your head. Bringing those knees into your chest, it is safer and nicer for your back if you just bring one knee in at a time. Once you bring those knees into your chest, you have that second block. It can go between your thighs. You want to maintain that pelvic floor engagement. So there is a block underneath your hips, and you might rock a little bit from side to side to make sure that block is low down underneath your hips and your lower back is descending down towards the ground. Knees hug in tight, close to your chest. Inhale, prepare. And as you exhale, flex your feet, squeeze the block, tuck in your front ribs, clear your throat, and then push your feet away from you. And inhale, bring it back in. And as you exhale, make sure you are engaging those abs, pelvic floor pulled in, pushing your feet out away from you. And inhale, bring it right back in. Exhale, pelvic floor pulled in, front ribs tucked in, throat is clearing as you're pushing your feet away from you. And bring it right back in. I've got the block between the thighs. This is the easiest version. Exhale, pushing out and away. And bring it right back in. The further away you take those feet from your face, the more challenging this is. The lower your feet are towards the floor, the more challenging this is. You want to maintain that pelvic floor, front ribs, and throat block, those bandhas, when you are exhaling and extending out. And inhale, bringing it right back in. Taking it to the next level, you take that block between the ankles. Again, exhale, squeeze those inner thighs, pull in that pelvic floor, tuck in those front ribs, extend the legs out, and bring it right back in. And just keep going. You're doing this correctly if the shape of your back does not change. You can determine how challenging this is, again, by maybe not extending the legs, maybe taking the legs a little lower to the floor. You customize this for you. And then finally, push it out one last time and just hold in midair for the fun of it. And breathe. Front ribs are tucked in the entire time. If somebody was coming by to tickle you, your abs are engaged. If somebody were to come by and poke you in the bladder right now, you would not pee. Those abs are engaged. And then bring it in. Take the block out from between your ankles, put your feet down flat, lift your hips up, and pull that block out. Setting your hips down, it's going to feel like your butt is in a hole. Now you're going to take one of those blocks and transfer it down underneath your ankles. So I've got prehensile feet there. I'm just going to push that block out underneath my ankles. And this block is not quite high enough. I'm going to have to use 2 blocks. And I'm going to actually roll over and install those 2 blocks, a nice stacked pile, go underneath my ankles. I want to have enough height underneath my ankles that I still have that feeling of my hips being on a block, that pelvic thrust tuck is maintained. So put enough height underneath your ankles so that you can get that tucked pelvis sensation, that long lower back. It should feel like your lower back is very flat on the ground. Ankles elevated and supported on enough height that you have that pelvic tuck tilt in your hips, and then you cross one ankle on top of the other. So with your ankles crossed, you can engage your inner thighs. And here is the challenge. Fingertips can once again find those hip bones, and thumbs can find your front ribs. You're going to inhale, prepare. And as you exhale, squeeze your thighs together, tuck in your front ribs, clear your throat, and feel your abs engaged. And inhale, relax. And exhale, squeeze your thighs, tuck your front ribs, clear your throat. Can you shorten your legs? And inhale, relax. One more time. Exhale, squeeze your thighs, tuck your front ribs, and shorten your legs. You're pulling on tight pants. And relax. We're going to recross, put the other ankle on top. If you're unable to get that feeling of shortening your legs, you need more height underneath your ankles. You want to have that pelvic thrust tilt. So elevating those feet is very important. It just does not work the same if your feet are down on the ground. Other ankle crossed on top. Inhale. And exhale. Squeeze your thighs, tuck in those front ribs, shorten your legs. And relax. Can you do it without squeezing your butt? Exhale, inner thighs and abs working. Booty relaxed as best you can. And let that go. 3rd time's charm here. And exhale, squeeze your thighs, tuck in your front ribs, clearing your throat, abs engaged. And relax. You might be able to get a little bit more power by putting a pillow underneath your head, or if you have a nice, happy, healthy neck, you can net your fingers together, cradle your head in the fingertips, and lift your head up. So ankle crossed on top. Exhale, squeezing inner thighs together, shortening the legs, tucking in those front ribs, and crunching that upper body to admire your scooped in belly. and lower down. Again, though, if you have neck issues, put the pillow in place. You don't have to hover in midair if you don't want to. Go ahead, recross, put the other ankle on top. We'll do it on the other side here. Inhale, prepare. And as you exhale, squeeze the legs close, shorten your legs, tuck in those front ribs, and crunch that upper body. Feeling those abs work really well. And release. So decide what you're going to do with your head and neck. Again, you can use a pillow underneath your head if you like, or use your hands. Inhale. And we're going to do 3 on this side. As you exhale, squeeze those thighs together, tuck in those front ribs, crunch the upper body, and release. And exhale, squeeze and crunch, and release. And one more time. Exhale, squeeze and crunch and crunch and crunch. And if you want to take it to the next level, you can sweep your hands down by your hips. I've got my palms up. Super crunch here in the upper body. Scooped in, hollowed out belly. Short legs. And release. If that's hurting your neck, though, you leave your hands in place. You don't want to hurt your neck to work your abs. Recross other ankle on top. We're going to do 3 on this other side. Inhale. Exhale, squeezing, shortening, crunching. If you want to take it to the next level, you sweep your hands down by your hips, palms up. And release. And exhale. Crunch it up. And release. One more time here. Inhale. And exhale. Work the legs, shorten the legs, tuck in those front ribs, pull in that pelvic floor. Clear your throat. Upper body comes up last. Hands down by your hips last. And release. All right. Bring that pile of blocks back up towards your hands. Bring one knee at a time, both knees into your chest. Rock those hips side to side. Find your belt. Gonna get into a yoga pose now. So hopefully you figured out how to use your abs a little bit. I'm gonna bring feet into the belt up into the sky. So I've taken the belt across the balls of my feet, and my belt is nice and long, and I can loop the belt around the back of my hands a few times to hold on so that I can relax my fingers. Heads on a pillow if you like. Shoulders down away from your ears, legs nice and straight. Leave the right foot in the belt and slip the left foot out. So my left foot is out. Both feet are flexed flat like they're still in the belt though. And I've looped the belt around the back of my hand so I can hold on close to the foot, my arms fully extended, but my shoulders relaxed down to the ground. Inhale, prepare. And as you exhale, squeeze your thighs together, tuck in your front ribs, shorten your legs. You might even crunch that upper body a little bit. Make sure your abs are scooped in. And if everything's looking good here, you can let that left leg lower down towards the ground, only so far as it's going to go without anything else changing in your body. And it probably won't touch down. You want that lower back to be tucked under, pelvic thrust tilt maintained. That heel won't touch the ground. Again, you can relax the upper body, but keep the abs working, whatever your neck permits. Good technique means when you bring this left leg up, nothing else changes in the body. Inhale, prepare. And exhale, bring that left leg on up. Slip the left foot in, flip the right foot out. Inhale, prepare. And as you exhale, lower that right leg down. Again, if you're feeling like you need more power, it does help to look down. Make sure your abs are scooped in. Keep breathing. And exhale, bring that right leg back up. Slip the right foot in, slip the left foot out. Inhale, prepare. And abs engaged. So again, sometimes it helps you to tuck your chin in, heel your head up away from the ground. Make sure those abs are super strong as you let that left leg descend down towards the ground. Nothing should change in your lower back. You've got great technique if you can bring that leg back up and nothing else changes. Slipping the left foot in, slip the right foot out. Take a momentary rest. And as you exhale, engage all the abs and then let that right leg descend down. And exhale, bring it right back up. Relax. All right, both feet go into the belt for just a moment. And let those knees hug into your chest. I like the belt around the bottom of the feet as I hug those knees into the chest because it helps me keep those feet nice and flat. And you can use your nice heavy arms to pull those knees in nice and tight. So feet are pushing hard into this belt. I'm holding on nice and tight. Here is a challenge. Inhale. And as you exhale, squeeze your thighs together with those knees hugged in close to your chest, holding on tight to that belt. You're going to push out, and sit up. Try not to shatter your heels. Woo! Windy. Okay. So sitting up. It was pretty easy with the belt around your feet. We're going to try that again to the next level. Maybe without the belt. Same idea though. Feet flex flat. Maybe your arms are long enough to hold on to your feet. Mine aren't. I'm going to hold behind my knees. I'm going to do the same thing though. Hold on tight behind the knees. Inhale, prepare. Activate those abs and kick out to sit up. Again, try not to shatter your heels as you come all the way on up. And then roll back. Same thing. Maybe you could wrap your arms a little tighter behind your knees. Maybe hold on to elbows. Rolling, this is even more challenging here. Inhale. And as you exhale, kick out. Oh, it might take a couple rocks here to get on up. That is a much more challenging version, holding behind your knees like that. Feet are flexed flat. And roll down. And then finally, the ultimate, most challenging version, this is for Pilates masters, is to do it with your legs completely closed, holding onto wrists or interlacing your fingers down around your ankles. I can't even get around my legs, but some of you could probably do that. Holding onto your feet, holding onto your ankles, curling into a tight little ball, inhaling. I have to cheat. And as you exhale, come on up to balance. Again, some of you might be able to get there. Rolled in nice and tight. Not me, but maybe you. Good. And then come all the way on up. So we rolled around like a ball a little bit. We're going to put the bottom of the feet together and around. All of this has been preparatory work for a yoga pose. Got a few more things to cover before we get into our yoga pose of the day. So a little while ago, we were on the ground and I had you squeezing the block, but then I had you do like a happy baby, take your legs apart, and it was harder to engage that pelvic floor. Well, here's the challenge. With your legs wide apart like this, it is more challenging to engage the pelvic floor. So even when your legs are wide, you want to engage like you're trying to squeeze them closed to help engage that core musculature. Right now, everything's kind of all hanging out. Big belly, big breaths, relaxed. I've turned towards the screen so that you can see I'm taking my peace fingers around my big toes, holding onto them. Inhale. And exhale, pull in the pelvic floor, tuck in those front ribs, tuck your chin, and rock back to balance, to hover in midair. I'm still pulling everything in, crunching, doing some abs here, holding on to those big toes, just balancing. And then come on down, relax. Exhale, pull in that pelvic floor. I know it's challenging. It might not feel like it's coming together, but do your best. And then hover. Float. And come on down. Inhale. Again, exhale, pull everything in, contracting, and come up to balance. And release. It will be easier when you close your legs. Fingertips tucked behind your knees. Toes touching the floor here. Inhale. And as you exhale, close your legs, pull in that pelvic floor and come up to balance. And relax. Inhale. And again, as you exhale, pull in that pelvic floor, crunch your ribs, clear your throat, close everything, engage those abs, and come up to balance. And release. Let's take legs out in front. We are eventually going to straighten those legs. And the trick to straightening your legs is to internally rotate, like we did at the very beginning class. Those inner thighs falling away from your face, the outer stripes rolling up towards the ceiling. Take the meat and spin it around the bone. Inner thighs down, outer thighs out. So rotate that meat around the bone and you're going to feel more of the back of the leg touching the ground. You straighten the legs by rotating the legs. A shortcut is to cross one big toe on top of the other. Whenever you cross one big toe on top of the other, toes in, heels out, your legs are internally rotated, your legs are straightening. So let's incorporate that. I'm going to come back to that starting position. Do make sure there's nothing nearby that you could accidentally fall on and break or knock over. So starting wide, hard to engage everything. As we close in, as we internally rotate your legs, you want to engage those abs. So inhale, prepare. And as you exhale, pelvic floor, close those legs, engaging inner thighs, crossing one big toe on top of the other, balancing, maybe straightening your legs. And then come on down. I'm going to turn sideways. Same idea. Come into that rounded over, letting everything all hang out position. And then as you exhale, pelvic floor, thighs squeeze close, abs engaged, crossing one big toe on top of the other, straightening the legs. And then come on down. We're not there yet. Got to work on that upper body. You don't want this slouchy upper body thing happening, but you do want those front ribs tucked in as if you were slouching. So the challenge is to separate the rib cage from the hips. The front ribs are tucked in, but shoulders roll back. Shoulders can move independently of the rib cage. Your shoulders float on top of the rib cage. So front ribs are tucked in, but your shoulders roll back. Give you that flat upper back position. That's why I turn sideways to show you that. So take a moment to slouch, let those shoulders come forward. But when we sit back, think about rolling those shoulders back. So fingertips come behind your knees. Inhale, prepare. And as you exhale, close your legs, tuck in your front ribs, clear your throat. Shrug your shoulders back as you take your legs out, crossing one big toe on top of the other to straighten your legs. And then relax. Let it slouch. Exhale. Engaging those abs, shrugging those shoulders onto your back, extending out. The grand finale of this is to do this without your hands or without holding on, letting go of those hands. And let that go. Now there's a trick to the grand finale. We're going to come on up. I'm going to sit on up over my heels. If you're comfortable sitting on your heels, go for it. If sitting on your heels doesn't work for you, you could sit simple crisscross applesauce. But if you do sit crisscross applesauce, I recommend sitting on some blocks because you want your belly higher than your knees. So sit in a way that your belly is higher than your knees. So if sitting flat down on the floor doesn't quite work for you, you can sit on some blocks, get the belly higher than your knees, crisscross applesauce. I think I'll demonstrate here in this position. So sit on enough height. You want your belly free because we're going to do a breathing technique to help you engage those abs even more. I can't talk and do it at the same time, so I'll demonstrate it and I'll talk you through it. It looks like this. I begin with an inhale. I exhale all the breath out. And then I simply inhale. Simply exhale. Inhale, prepare. Exhale all the breath out. And keep exhaling, little puffs. The trick to this breathing technique is to push the breath out, 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 out. So I begin with a big inhale. I exhale all the breath out, and then I push puffs of breath out, 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 out. In between the exhales, I'm just relaxing a little bit, and I passively inhale. If you make an effort to inhale, you will find that you are hyperventilating, and you don't want to be hyperventilating. So don't try to inhale. All you try to do is forcefully exhale. Again, it sounds like this. It's an inhale, prepare. Exhale all the breath out. I'm also flipping my fingers here. I'm pulling in that belly muscle, pulling in the belly muscle, pulling in the belly muscle. I'm not trying to relax it. All I'm doing is pulling it in, and then it passively relaxes. I'm pulling it in, passively relaxing, that breath comes in. Exhale, exhale, exhale. So let's do it together. Prepare with an inhale. All the breath out. Exhale, 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 exhale. What you're doing is moving the diaphragm. Eventually, as you become more adept at this, the belly muscle doesn't have to move as much, and you can do it with your diaphragm. Same idea, though. We're going to use that type of breathing technique, that exhaling, that almost Lamaze breathing, with our boat pose. And when you do that breathing with your boat pose, it goes from being yoga to Pilates. And it just works a little bit better. So the yoga pose without any fancy breathing is called boat. The Pilates pose, same thing as boat, but with a fancy breathing, is called the 100. Okay. You'll find that breathing techniques lets you stay in that pose a little bit longer. So make sure you clear the area behind you. You're going to start by rounding over. Take 2 fingers around your big toes if you like. Inhale, prepare. Exhale all the breath out. Shrugging your shoulders onto your back. You're empty of breath as you come into this pose. And then to take it to the next level, you can cross one big toe on top of the other. You can release your arms. Pumping your arms helps a little bit to breathe. Come over here, round over. So the full Pilates version, it's 10 pumps out and then 10 sniffs in. 10 pumps out, 10 sniffs in. We're not Pilates people, we're yoga people, so we're just going to do 10 breaths out and then come into our recovery. Let's do it again, though, just for practice. Inhale, prepare. Exhale all the breath out, getting into position, and keep breathing out. And round over. So that's boat pose. Boat pose with 100 breathing. And then you get to come on up. And we're going to turn this into a really nice twist. But first, a hamstring stretch. So you're going to find that belt again. A hamstring stretch will help release your lower back. Just in case you were doing this with your back and not your abs, you might have a little back tenderness right now. One way to quickly help release that lower back is to do a hamstring stretch. So I've got the belt around the bottom of the right foot. I'm looping the belt around the back of my hands a few times. And I'm going to shoot that left leg straight out along the floor. Just a simple, basic hamstring stretch. Now imagine you had curious chickens pecking at your inner thighs. Squeeze your legs closed so they don't peck at anything they're not supposed to be pecking at. Squeeze that left leg in towards midline. Engage that pelvic floor for good measure. Inhale. And as you exhale, pull in that pelvic floor, tuck in your front ribs, lift your head and shoulders up so that you can transfer both ends of the belt into the opposite diagonal arm. That's your right leg. The belt goes into your left hand. Still squeezing your thighs together. Inhale. And as you exhale, lie back down, giving yourself a little bit more intensity on that stretch. And then you have the option of taking that leg across your body all the way over into a twist. Keep working the bottom leg, the straight leg, straight and strong. Like we did at the beginning class, if you're feeling really super strong about this, you can exhale, engage those abs, shorten both legs, tuck your chin, make sure those front ribs are tucked in, and bring that straight leg back to center. You might need to bend it though to bring that leg back to center. You're going to slip one foot in, slip the other foot out. You're going to switch sides. Get the belt around the bottom of the left foot, and that right leg comes down to the ground. Simple, basic hamstring stretch. Making nice with your lower back. If that's your left leg up in the air, that's your right leg down on the floor. You want to squeeze that right leg in towards midline. Tuck in your front ribs, clear your throat, lift your head and shoulders up. Opposite diagonal arm holds on a little closer to the foot. You lie back down to intensify that hamstring stretch. And then you can take that top leg across your body over into a twist. And again, activating those abs, shortening the legs, clearing your throat. Maybe you can bring that leg all the way back up to center. And stretch full out, flat out. Reach through fingers, reach through toes. Get that nice long full body stretch. Stretching full out, flat out. Walk both heels all the way over to the right. As far to the right as they'll go. You're still lying down flat. You just walk both heels all the way over to the right. And you cross that right ankle on top. Squeeze your thighs together. Tuck in your front ribs like you're getting tickled. Reach across with that right hand and pull on your left wrist. Getting a nice left side body stretch. Arms are engaged here for ultimate stretchiness. Squeezing your thighs together, tucking in your front ribs, pulling on that left wrist. And then relax. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Walk both heels all the way over to the left, as far to the left as they'll go. And when they won't go any further, you cross your left ankle on top. Curve your body to the left, reaching up with that left hand to pull on that right wrist. Stretch. And reset. Coming back to center. You snow angel your hands down by your hips. Want to go for a little grand finale, stretching your back the other way? You might go for a bridge pose. You've got the ab technique for a nice, good, strong, healthy, safe bridge pose. So if you want to do that, you'd remove the pillow from beneath your head. You set your feet down flat. One last time, you can take that brick between your thighs. Want to engage your abs, keep your back safe. Feet down nice and flat, toes turn in, heels kicking out. Again, toes turn in, heels kicking out, that inward thigh rotation thing. Help you engage that pelvic floor a little bit more. Fingertips on your hip bones, thumbs on your front ribs. Inhale, prepare. And as you exhale, squeeze the brick, tuck in your front ribs, clear your throat, and then peel your hips away from the ground. Pushing your feet down flat, hard into the ground, lifting your hips away from the ground. You might be able to work your shoulders narrow underneath your body, rolling those shoulders onto your back like we did for the bridge pose, and letting those hips come higher up off the floor. So it's the same exact instructions you had for the boat that you're going to be using in the bridge. You breathe. Each and every exhalation is a chance to pull those abs in tighter. Keep squeezing the block. Keep those front ribs tucked in. Nice bridge pose. And then come on down. I'm going to roll off to the side real quick. I'm going to finish with another chest opener, just to stretch my body the opposite way of all the crunching we've been doing. I'm going to do what I call dead fish. I'm going to take a block on medium. The medium level block is going to go underneath my head. The block on low is going to go underneath the shoulder blades. So block on medium for the head, block on low goes underneath the shoulder blades. Set the blocks up first, and then you lie back down over them. Again, that lower level block is hitting me underneath the shoulder blades. Nipples pointing straight up towards the ceiling, and block goes underneath the head. There is nothing underneath my neck. There is nothing underneath my lower back. Toes turn in, knees lean together. Stay here. Or bottom of the feet together. Or you can even take legs out straight, whatever you want with the legs as you settle in for what I call dead fish. Nice chest expansion Shavasana option. So settling into whatever variation you want to try this morning. Take nice, deep, cleansing breaths. Just as we begin class, you might shake your head no side to side, letting the back of your neck lengthen. Clear your throat. Shrug those shoulders down away from your ears. Take a nice, deep, chesty breath. And then direct that breath and attention even deeper into your body with nice, deep belly breaths. Give yourself a belly rub with your breath. Help massage and relax those ab muscles that you've been working.